Hi there. Welcome back to Author Journey. My name is CJ Anaya. Today we're going to talk about how to outline a book series, and we're actually going to go over this in more broad terms, just because I think that usually when you come up for a concept for a series, you need to do that. You need to do that, unless just tons of ideas have come to you and you can be very detailed about it in the beginning, which is great. A lot of times, if you can just start out by outlining a series with these few basic steps in mind, it can prevent you from feeling overwhelmed. It can also just help you nail down the really important aspects of a series, so that you are a little bit more organized. So this is more broad. We're not going to get super detailed into each and every individual book. I just want to give you kind of the basic guide or outline to outlining a series. I'm doing this because of a question that one of my subscribers to this channel asked. Ellie wanted to know how I stay motivated through a series, how I'm able to continue to push through each book and write each book. I'm pretty sure that's what she was asking. And when I answered that question, I realized that there was actually a lot of information that I could share about that. And a lot of authors do deal with that issue. And so this first part of this is the answer to that question. Ways to stay motivated throughout your entire series is what this video is going to be about. How to outline the entire series so you don't suffer from writer's block, because really, from my experience, writer's block and not having motivation to write, or not just feeling like it's dragging, not being excited about it, a lot of that just stems from zero planning. A lot of that just stems from you not having any idea where your book or where your series is supposed to go from here. And so you're so frustrated and overwhelmed, you just don't want to write anymore. And so while that is labeled writer's block and all sorts of things, what it really comes down to is that you just need to plan it. You need to outline it. Poor planning is going to kill you every single time. So you need to have clear ideas of what this series is about. The second way that I stay motivated throughout an entire series is I give myself deadlines. So I write the series according to a planned schedule with deadlines and publishing dates, okay? So I want to go over these two things, but I want to this is going to be like part 2 or part 1 and then part 2 of my video series on this question, answering this question. So we're just going to focus on the outlining aspects of this right now. And then in the next video, I will talk to you about how to plan a schedule and have deadlines and publishing dates so that you can knock out a series within a year if you want to. So let's start with outlining. When it comes to a series, what you want to do is you want to come up with the main idea or the overarching goal of that series, okay? That's really, really important for you to do that. So what is the main goal your characters need to achieve by the end of the series? The whole overarching goal, that's that main thread or that main theme throughout the entire book. And so just so we can get our brains thinking, we can look at this analytically, and we can actually put it into play or to practice, and you have examples. Let's think about Harry Potter's Endgame, the whole series. What was the whole point? And the whole point was to save the wizarding world and, the muggles, maybe the entire world if Voldemort had, been capable of taking over the wizarding world. And to do that, they needed to kill Voldemort, okay? So that's pretty much the end game of the entire series, even though in the first book, everything is being set up and we're getting an idea of what the whole point of the book is. But in a sense, in essence, like the whole point is to get rid of Voldemort so you can save the wizarding world, and so non-magical people won't be subjected to, oppression or being killed, and so the wizarding world can be safe as well. So that's kind of the whole point, the end game in a nutshell. The Healer series, the series that I wrote, my end game is over the course of these 4 books where I wrote my series, is to heal the veil between the living and the dead. That's what Hope has to do, okay? So whatever it is that your characters need to accomplish by the end of the series, that is your main goal for the entire book. And you need to just write that down. Think of a huge goal that needs to be accomplished, something, exciting, something that you can really sink your teeth into, and make that, come up with a few ideas if you're just kind of stumped and you need to, do a little free writing just to see what you come up with. But that's your first step when outlining a series. Goals for individual books in the series, okay? So a lot of people are like, okay, I have a great idea for a series, but I don't know how to break it up into books. I don't know how many books I'm going to need. And this will help you a little bit. To figure out the storylines of each book in the series, you need to come up with 3 to 5 steps or goals that your characters must achieve in order to accomplish the overarching goal of the series, okay? So when I say 3 to 5 steps, it's going to be necessary for you to have 3 to 5 steps that within one book that help you to reach a specific goal, just because that's part of the plot, that's part of the story. But with 3 to 5 steps, I'm talking about the main goal of the book. And if you can come up with 3 to 5 goals, that means that you have 3 to 5 books within that series, because you've already got a main idea or a main goal for each book that's going to slowly build upon each other and help you achieve that end goal of the entire series. So just to give you an example of this, in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, so the first book, the first goal is to figure out who wants the Sorcerer's Stone and to stop them, okay? So that's the first main goal of the book. Now, does this end up helping us, or help the characters overcome Voldemort in the end? It does, because for a little while at least, they're able to prevent Voldemort from getting a stronghold, in a physical sense. He's kind of a parasite having to eat off of one of the teachers. So, they're able to thwart him, and it helps to set the tone for the book. A lot has to happen in the first book. You're setting up the main characters, you're setting up the scene, you're setting up the setting for the entire book, what the premise is, but you're also throwing in a main goal that's going to help you achieve what needs to be achieved towards the very end. So this is chipping away at Voldemort's strength, and it's helping Harry and his friends in a very small way, but in a very big way, because it is a huge, it's the main goal of the book, to stop Voldemort and to save the wizarding world, okay? So Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is book 2. The goal is to find the Chamber of Secrets and stop the heir of Slytherin from returning and killing non-magical people, okay? And, the further we get into the book, at the moment in this second book, we don't realize that this diary that Harry Potter ends up destroying, that it's a Horcrux. It's one of the things that Voldemort has tied his spirit to. He split his soul into so many pieces. And so by getting rid of that, he's actually, thwarting Voldemort once again. He's not getting rid of him completely, but it's a step in the right direction. And it's a fantastic, premise and very original and interesting. And then we're building more on story and character and plot. And so that, they're accomplishing that. That's the whole main goal of that second book that's going to eventually help them, win in the end. So, consider what steps, what main goals need to be achieved in each book, or just as a whole. If you look at your overarching goal, just ask yourself, all right, what are 3 to 5 things that would need to happen to make this goal achievable, to make this series achievable? What are 3 to 5 things that I need my characters to focus on and overcome? And if you write those down, and you look at them, you really have plots for 3 to 5 books, or you have, at least good ideas for 3 to 5 books. And obviously you can come up with more. If it takes more steps to achieve that overarching goal, great, then you've got more books in a series. That's awesome. So within each book, and this is getting more detailed, obviously. I'm not going to go into tons of detail about outlining one book, because that's a different video tutorial completely, and would take a little longer. But I do want to say that within each book, you want to consider what actions and what steps need to be taken to achieve that main goal within that book. Not just the series, just, okay, so we've got this main goal in this book. What steps do we need to take to achieve that? Just write them down. Once you have the books lined up, take a look at that first book and go, okay, so here's a problem that needs to be solved. What, 3 to 5 things could we accomplish? What needs to be accomplished in order to solve that? You know, so when you break it down into little pieces like that slowly, just narrowing it down, it's so much easier to outline it and to get ideas rather than looking at the series as a whole and going, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. So hopefully you can do that. You can start narrowing things down. And then of course, you're going to need obstacles. You're going to need an obstacle that's going to, you know, prevent your characters from achieving this goal. So you want to come up with 3 to 5 obstacles that will prevent your characters from achieving the overarching goal of the series, okay? So the main goal coupled with obstacles is what creates your conflict and your plot line within an individual book, okay? So just like we came up with a main goal for each individual book, you need to come up with a huge obstacle for each individual book that's going to thwart your characters in some way. Okay, so let's just take a look at what J.K. Rowling did in book 1. Well, this is not only the main goal, but this is also the obstacle. They have a time limit of figuring out who wants the Sorcerer's Stone and why before it's taken. So it's also the main goal, but they also have to figure out what's going on before it's taken, and they run into huge obstacles. And then there are other obstacles within this main book that's going to prevent them from achieving that goal, okay? So other obstacles within the main book, we're introduced to Snape. He's an antagonist. He's got serious problems, you know, and his backstory is revealed, which is fascinating to me because it takes J.K. Rowling so long to do that. She really pulls that out, and we don't realize, you know, till like towards the very end, that Snape is in essence a good guy, albeit misunderstood, you know? And so but we don't understand his history with Harry Potter's mother. So he's just, you know, kind of projecting his frustration of Harry Potter's father onto Harry. And that becomes an obstacle for Harry. Draco is an obstacle for Harry. Trying to learn Quidditch is an obstacle for Harry. Learning this new world of wizardry and how to navigate it, how to navigate the school. These are all little obstacles that that he is running into, and it you know, it helps build plot lines and subplots within the book, which build the book and make it even more interesting and just rich in detail. And, you know, just honestly, like if you could just sit there and analyze the way that J.K. Rowling wrote the series, how she set up each book, it's such a lesson in structure and plot and creative writing. I always like to use her series as an example because she did such a fabulous job with it. So when you consider a main obstacle for each book, once you figure that out, you know, the main thing that's going to block your character from achieving that main goal, then you want to consider little things, little obstacles that will also add to it, that will also add conflict. So you're trying to figure out 3 to 5 steps that'll help you towards it, 3 to 5 steps that are going to block you. And you can add more, you can take away, you know, whatever you need to do, but that's really the goal. So if you can just make lists of 3 to 5 things that progress the story forward, 3 to 5 things that might push or beat against your character within each book, that's going to help you navigate and outline this. At least get you some really good, you know, plot ideas and storylines that you can then, you know, work into character development and creating a scene. I mean, obviously there are a lot of things that go into it when you are trying to outline just a single book, but hopefully this gives you a really good idea of how to get started in a broad sense with outlining a series so that you don't get overwhelmed, so that you are motivated to push through a series, and so you're not dealing with any type of writer's block or dealing with you know, a lack of motivation. Because when you have great ideas, when you have great storylines, that's the beginning, and that's the motivation right there. And then if you know where you're going and how you're going to plot the book, when you know your next steps, then it's so much easier to write it, and it's exciting to write it. And that's the motivation you need to write it, because you're excited about it. You're excited about these ideas. So I hope that was helpful. I know I rambled quite a bit here, but hopefully that made some sense, a little bit of sense. In the next book, or in the next tutorial, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can organize and plan and schedule your books out so that you'll know how long it takes to write a book, how long it takes to edit it. You'll have time to work on the second book and, you know, plan for when you're going to publish the first. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to work on that a little bit and I'll have that out to you soon. If you have any questions about this, please let me know, comment, ask more questions. I can make more videos to answer your questions. Make sure you like and subscribe and just engage with me because I really appreciate it. Thanks for the question, Ellie. I hope that this helped and I hope this next video will help you as well. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.